Good afternoon.
Special thanks.
Welcome to Coastside Fire Protection District Board of Directors, a regular board meeting, June 25th, 2025. Roll call, please, Jean.
Director Cockrell.
Yes.
Director Hannah.
Yes.
Director McKinney.
Yes.
Director Sherrill. Yes. President Burke.
Yes. Please join me for the Pledge of Allegiance.
I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, and
Justice for all.
Are there any members of the public who would like to address the board at this time? Any members of the public would like to speak?
Michelle, that she watches that for the Coastside Buzz.
All right, hearing none, we'll close the public comment period. Do I have, on the consent calendar, Director McKinney is asked to be recused?
Yes.
Do I have a motion to approve the consent
So
calendar?
moved.
I'll second. Any comments on the consent calendar? Roll call, please, Jean.
Director Cockrell.
Yes.
Director Hannah.
Yes.
Director Sherrill. Yes. President Burke.
Yes.
Motion passes 4 approved, no opposed, 1 recusal.
Moving on to continue business. Local area fire hazard severity zone ordinance number 2025-01. Chief Wilson.
All right, so this is the second time this has come to you. We reviewed this back on April 23rd. So it is staff's recommendation that the board adopt ordinance 2025-01. This is an ordinance of the Coastside Fire Protection District of San Mateo County to designate fire hazard severity zones and determine the ordinance exempt from California Environmental Quality Control Act. And in April, I gave a presentation. This identifies the very high, and moderate fire hazard severity zones and the implications that those have within the district. I'm happy to answer any questions.
First of all, open a public meeting regarding the possibility of ordinance number 225-01. Any members of the public would like to speak on this subject? Hearing none, I'll close the public meeting and ask the board any questions, comments.
Yeah, just quickly, Chief, it's in regards to the state and CAL FIRE's, the state fire marshals update, right? This is us adopting similar. And I think when we first talked about it, I might have asked the question then, which is essentially, it's not that we can alter or do anything about it anyways, it's just, we're just adopting.
Correct, there's a
those regions and zones.
in state responsibility area, the SRA, that process was completed last year in 2024. This is the process that moved forward from Assembly Bill for 2025 for local responsibility areas. So jurisdictions that are under a fire district that are not SRA or within city limits. And there is no lessening, you can only increase.
Other questions, comments? Do I have a motion on ordinance number 225-01? And so
Second.
Move to second. Any further questions? Roll call, please, Jean.
Director Cockrell.
Yes.
Director Hannah.
Yes.
Director McKinney.
Yes.
Director Sherrill. Yes. President Burke.
Yes.
Motion passes 5-0.
Thank you. Moving on to new business. Review and approve the Coastside Fire Protection District preliminary budget for the fiscal year 2025-26. Chief Wilson.
All right, before you, in the staff report, you have, presented the, preliminary 25-26 budget. This budget is balanced per the board of having a, reserve of $2 million. Some items that are of note is that this, double-sided, that this budget, some of the expenditures is an increase for the PERS contribution. And that is just due to the increase of that over time. We have additional funds for some service and supplies that have been reduced. Vehicle equipment maintenance continues to increase, so we increased that budget to make sure based on this year's expenditures that we have enough there. And then we're looking at purchasing a water tender, a Type 6 engine, and 2 staff vehicles. The water tender will be the board's decision in the future when we have those estimates and samples of what that vehicle would look like. The Type 6 is part of the vehicle replacement plan along with those two staff vehicles.
They're already in the pipeline, right?
They are not purchased yet, but they are part of our vehicle replacement
Okay.
plan. They would be due this next fiscal year,
Good.
so we're gonna replace those.
Thank you.
One item to note is that we would be transferring $750,000 most likely into the class account, and that would be part of our PERS exit plan. And that would be establishing that fund. And I can go through detailed specifics if you want, but it should all be there before you. And we did have a finance meeting, and I'm sure President Burke, when we do finance, maybe we'll report out on some possible slight changes when they do.
I just note for the public's information, the preliminary budget is a public document and available to anybody who would like to peruse it. The disposal of that is available. With that, before we continue, I'd like to ask if there's any members of the public who would like to speak regarding the proposed preliminary budget. Any member of the public would like to speak on this subject?
Hi, Gary. It's me, Sid.
Yes.
Um,
Good.
I was, the county just had their 3-day budget, conference, and I was shocked to hear that the state was withholding $114 million of the vehicle licensing fee. And, at the very last day, they got some of it clawed back from, it was the only county there holding the fee back. But I don't know, they didn't specify if that included all the special districts in the county. Do you know if they withheld the CFD's vehicle licensing fees, or did you get yours?
I have no idea. Does anybody? I have no idea, Sid.
Okay, well, I was wondering if Montero was getting theirs either, but that's a big chunk. So, and they're also worried about federal funding too, but everybody's worried about cutbacks from the feds. Okay, that's all I wanted to say.
Thank you. Any other members of the public would like to speak on the subject? Hearing none, we'll close the public hearing on this subject. Any member of the board would like to speak on the subject?
Quick question on some of the larger amounts, right? So the new station 44.
Would you speak?
Station 44, right, being one of the larger amounts we have set aside. You know if that number, is it, whether 15 million and change?
So the LAIF account has $15 million in it. And then our normal budget, which would be with San Mateo, has 5.4 million set aside for the station. And in the finance committee, we discussed some movement of funds to not impact the available funds in the San Mateo County account.
Right, and actually my question to complete was to ask if our initial amount for that station, since we're going back now a year plus, how much it's gone up and how it's changed and how we're looking to the future to make sure that.
We have not asked for a quote on that. We've not put it out for bid. So we don't know. I think we had an estimate from Sean, did we not? Yeah.
Yes, we had a meeting today actually on Station 44. And before they put out pre-bid qualifications, we need to make sure that we're able to actually break ground and do construction in a time frame. Otherwise, the pre-bid process is null and void. So we're still not quite there yet. We need to have the power at the temporary 44s in place, then we can kind of move forward.
So the amount total is in the lake funding available plus, you said.
Yeah, which would equate to
over 20.
21 million roughly.
Okay.
Thank you.
Other questions or comments? Let me, regarding the budget, let me just mention a couple of items that came up in the finance committee. This first one is just information, but in your spreadsheet that we have in our packet that tells you our year to date and so forth, on the page that actually has no number on it, but the page that tells you year to date cash information, tells you where you are. I pointed out, though we chatted at the finance committee meeting, that just to make sure that people understand, if you look under the May column if you will. It says that our beginning cash balance at San Mateo was some $12 million. And our revenue and so forth. We came up, in the total, if you can see, there was $13 million. And then below that is the $2 million that we put in there as an operating reserve. And that's cash that's there, but for, I guess, accounting purposes, it is subtracted out. It appears as though that money is not there. It is. So that at the bottom line down there where it says there's $9 million that we have at San Mateo, that does not include the $2 million that we have in operating reserves if something happens that unexpected. That's just strictly information, nothing necessary to go forward with that. Let's see, there's the other thing that I think if not the committee, found a little bit confusing, and some of the projections in the budget were based upon the 24 budget, not the 25 actuals. The 24, so for example, it was suggested that a percentage increase based upon the 24 budget would actually give us a budget for 26 less than we're doing this year. So it's a little bit confusing, but so just understand that some of the statistics were based on the 24 budget, not the 25 actuals that are in there. If there are no questions, I'm going to suggest an amendment to the budget going forward. And I'll just tell you what these are, and we went through them in the finance committee. I'm going to suggest that the projected revenue for our new budget increased by 2% of our actual 25 revenue, a 2% increase over actual 25 revenue. And then we'll leave that to the chief and the staff as close as we can determine what that is, and we'll see that in September when we see the final thing. In your packet, it said an increase of 1.5 based upon the budget, and I think that's not realistic. So that's a point one on the agenda. The second item that I'm going to ask as an amendment to approve the budget is the following. And that is to transfer, and I'll use the term $6 million from LAIF to our working budget to address Station 44 needs. And if you look at the budget, in there's some $5.9 million that are projected that we would take out of our operating budget from San Mateo. And it kind of confuses me, if you will, because to do that, we've saved money for Station 44 now for years. So rather than trying to use jockey money around from San Mateo and leave us with a very small amount in San Mateo, we'll take money. I'm proposing we take money, and I've said $6 million or an amount that the chief thinks is appropriate to handle it from LAIF that we have, not use money, if you will, from the operating fund. So that's the second piece of the amendment that I would like to add. Third and last piece, and Chief, you may have to help me on this. In the chief's report, it says that there was $750,000 in Cal class that could be used for reducing our obligation to CalPERS. Is that correct? And I would like to propose that we include a payment to Cal class of $750,000, and it be identified as an exit from CalPERS. In addition to which, this gets tricky, in our LAIF account, there's $990,000 that's quote undesignated. It's just money we put in there, just really interest money. And I would propose that an amount of that money also be included in our exit CalPERS account. So there's 3 amendments to this budget. Questions? The budget, let me back up a little. The budget is very well done. There's adequate funds. We have no, as far as I can see, unlike a lot of entities in California that have real budget problems, we're lucky. We're fine. We're in great shape. I just think that if you will, to project income that's realistic, my first point is just good sense, good financial thing. Secondly, the word to transfer to use life monies as opposed to trying to jockey the budget around makes sense. It's easier for everybody all around. And the third point is I just want to make sure that we get established an exit CalPERS account. Frankly, in September, when we get the final budget, final figures, I suspect we might do some other changes around. So I'm going to make a motion to approve the budget with those 3 amendments.
So moved.
Second, comments? Seems like roll call, please, Gene.
Director Cockrell?
Yes.
Director Hannah?
Yes.
Director McKinney?
Yes.
Director Cheryl? Yes. President Burke?
Thank you, yes.
Motion passes 5-0.
Moving on to new business, item B, review and approve draft audited financial statements, independent auditors report for the year ending June 30th, 2024. Chief Wilson. I just make the point that in our packet and available to the public is this very interesting document. If you have trouble sleeping, I would recommend it. So it is a public document and available. Chief, any comments?
This is the draft, that's before you. We had not received the final. Upon review, there were no findings.
Yeah. As far as I was concerned, it's unqualified. They found nothing in the audit that was unusual or anything like that. The net positions on almost anything that's in there have improved over the prior year. So I think I'd just say it's a really positive audit. No other comments? Do I have a motion to approve the financial statement, independent auditors report for the year ending June 30, 2024?
So moved.
Moved and seconded. Any further comments? Roll call, please, Gene.
Director Cockrell?
Yes.
Director Hannah?
Yes.
Director McKinney?
Yes.
Director Cheryl? Yes. President Burke?
Yes.
Motion passes 5-0.
Under item 5, adopt resolution 2025-12, establishing the appropriation limit applicable to the district during the fiscal year 25-26. Chief Wilson.
The appropriation limit, is how much money through taxes the district can receive. It's based on population change and per capita personal income for the areas within the district, which is the city of Half Moon Bay and the unincorporated county of San Mateo. Over the past year, the population has slightly decreased. Per capita personal income has increased. With those following formulas, the appropriation limit is calculated to be roughly 19.972132, which is an increase of about $100,000 from last year.
First of all, do I have a motion to approve a resolution number 225-12?
So moved.
Moved, I'll second it. Comments? This is just a bureaucracy paperwork item, frankly. Okay, anything else? Roll call, please, Gene.
Director Cockrell?
Yes.
Director Hannah?
Yes.
Director McKinney?
Yes.
Director Cheryl? Yes. President Burke?
Yes.
Motion passes 5-0.
Item D, adopt resolution 2025-13, authorizing San Mateo County place an assessment in the Half Moon Bay Fire District. On the roll call for this coming year 25-26. Chief Wilson.
This is the annual property tax on all parcels within Half Moon Bay Fire Protection District area. And the amount is the same as last year of $35.
Okay. Good. First of all, do I have a motion to approve?
So moved.
Second. Moved and seconded. I just say this has been around for as long as when there was a Half Moon. This is the Half Moon Bay one.
Yes.
This has been around since there was a Half Moon Bay fire district prior to our merger and all that type of thing. I'll just leave it at that. And so there's no changes to it or anything else. Anything else? Roll call, please, Gene.
Director Cockrell?
Yes.
Director Hannah?
Yes.
Director McKimmy?
Yes.
Director Cheryl? Yes. President Burke?
Yes.
Motion passes 5-0.
Thank you. Moving on, similar item, adopt resolution authorizing sanitary place a special tax on the Point Montera, what was Point Montera Fire Protection District for the year 2025-26. Do I have a motion?
So moved.
Second. Moved in second. I just add, if you really want to dig into it, if you looked at the way that the old Half Moon Bay and the old Point Montera, the two pieces, they're almost the same, but there's a couple little things that are different, but basically they're the same parcel tax and so forth. Is there no more questions? We had a motion? Yeah. Roll call, please, Jane.
Director Cockrell?
Yes.
Director Hannah?
Yes.
Director McKimmy?
Yes.
Director Cheryl? Yes. President Burke?
Yes.
Motion passes 5-0.
Okay, moving on. Item F through DD, is that it? Yep. Adopt how can we do this in one time? Adopt resolutions 2025-15 through 2000,
25, 26.
what is it,
26.
20?
25, 26.
Okay.
2025-39.
Yes, it's kind of mixed up. It's actually through 39, because they're not in sequence. There is actually a 39 in there.
Yes.
36, 37, 38, and 39. So it would be adopting them from 2025 through 2025, 39, which is a little bit, as I see it.
The only one would be 37 is not final. It will be in July's meeting.
Do we need to exempt that?
No, I think you're-
CFD number 36, but it would be resolution number 2025-40. So it's the next one. It's the
Okay,
next
40.
CFD.
Thank you. So 25 through 40, 15 through 40.
15
50 through 39.
through 39.
Through 39, okay. Forget it, we have a motion. I make a motion to approve it from 2015 through 2025-15 through 2025-39.
Second.
Okay. Any further comments? Roll call, please, Gene.
And just before I do the roll, just for the minutes, I'll reflect, you are moving every resolution that we see in the agenda this evening.
Yes.
Thank you. Director Cockrell?
Yes.
Director Hannah?
Yes.
Director McKimmy?
Yes.
Director Cheryl? Yes. President Burke?
Yes,
Motion passes 5-0.
thank you. Very good. Moving on to the Board of Directors and Chief Report, the Finance Committee, we've covered a good deal with the Finance Committee. The spreadsheet showing our expenses for this year is in our packet. It's a public document. It's a very positive one. We have a very positive net balance at the county. The only comment I would make is that it appears as though that our expenses, as it says in the report, are at 60% year to date after 11 months. And because it's so low is because, first of all, the low CAL FIRE expenses, if you will, and also in the original budget, there was some $5 million that was expected to be spent for the 44 that has not been spent. So those two items have made it look as though our expenses are abnormally low. PAS and Cal class, solid investments, no problem. That's the only comments I have. Anybody else have any finances or anything else? JB?
No.
Anything else? Moving on, volunteer committee report, Director Cockrell, Director Hannah.
Nothing for me, but possibly Becky. I was sick and did not make the meeting, so.
Nothing on that.
Okay. Land and Structures Committee report, Director McNerney, Director Cheryl.
No report.
What is taking so long?
The back and forth on the interim site
Okay.
that has to do with PG&E and also all of the land planning process. Wow.
Great.
That's what's holding this up.
Thank you. That's where I did not expect anything. And then that was a problem. I don't get it. That's what they said.
Cynthia, you're speaking to the temporary The something?
Yes.
Yeah, okay. Maybe you, at least before you can also elaborate on that if you would.
happy.
Anything else? Okay,
Just curious about the.
vegetation management report, directive. Carl, very good.
Just had a quick question, land.
Yes.
Related, because the landscaping 41 is ticking along pretty well. Is that something that you guys need more information so I can we get cheap?
Yeah, I
I
can,
mean,
I
it's
can,
really come along fast, so that's great. Is there a completion date that?
end of next month was it was a 60-day project. From breaking ground to completion, and I can talk about.
Very good. Special Districts Association, Director Ham,
No report.
no report. ALS JPA, no report, no meeting. Emergent Preparedness Liaison,
I did hear from David Cosgrave on this. It says he has two things to report. One is, the availability of something, it's a program called LADRIS, LADRIS. I'm sure Chief Wilson, you could tell us more about it. It's in, something that's 2 licenses that are made available to each city in the county, plus the unincorporated areas, which he can discuss with you further. But it is a simulation program for evacuation arrests. So you can query, you can say, if you have this many people leaving from this location at this stage, how long will it take them to get out? And if you do it an hour later, how long will it take them to get out? So you can give it different attributes and recount it. So that's LADRIS. And the second thing is to reiterate that the San Mateo County Preparedness Fair is August 2nd in San Mateo.
thank you, All right, CERT report, Director Cheryl.
CERT report, we had a successful neighborhood command post class. And then the last in that series before the Great Coastside Shakeout is coming up this Saturday. And that's the field team operations and practice. So both of those classes, end up our whole series, and then we have the Great Coastside Shakeout, which is the earthquake and radio drill that will happen in September. We also had neighborhood safety meetings with Frenchman's Creek. These are meetings that are requested by the neighborhood. The neighborhood organizes it all. They bring everybody together and we answer their questions. Frenchman's Creek, Sea Haven, and then Montera had a specialized neighborhood meeting that was an evacuation town hall. And we had representation from the sheriff's office. Captain Mota represented fire services, and David Cosgrave was there for emergency management. It was a very successful meeting. It wasn't actually a practice drill. It was a town meeting about how evacuations could be successfully accomplished from all aspects of Montera. So
Great.
we appreciate that Captain Mota was a great part of that.
Great.
Thank you very much. We also are involved with MRC, the Medical Reserve Corps' resurgence. They are trying very hard to get themselves back up to speed. I presume everybody here is pretty familiar with the Medical Reserve Corps. No reason to go into that. Joe, remember?
Mhm.
Okay, Medical Reserve Corps is, should I explain it briefly?
Sure.
Okay. It's an organization of volunteer individuals overseen by the county who are involved in any form of medical service provision, from medical records to surgeons. Anybody on the coast side who has this skill or background can become a part of the Medical Reserve Corps. The Medical Reserve Corps then gathers these people together, and first they credentialize them, meaning that they are sure that they are who they say they are, and that they have the training in the medical professions they say they do, and that they're background checked. And then they do feel a lot of training and the training is extensive and excellent. And the reason they do that is because most individuals from the medical profession in our area are clinically trained. They're trained in medical schools, not in the military. So what they need to learn in order to function here in an emergency where we have very few medical facilities is they need to be field trained. So it's field medicine they train in. And then, they bring them back together and organize how they will respond in and they insure them. And there's a special insurance for medical professionals that goes beyond, workers' comp, and it goes beyond, Good Samaritan. Because they're providing medical services within their training. And so once they get that all together, then they talk about how these individuals will respond. And they are all, most of them are embedded in CERT in the various neighborhoods. They would respond in their if they were called to their place of work, they would try to get there. But if they couldn't, they would respond in their neighborhood, but what they're working on is perhaps, and it's not done yet, so it's just a work in progress. But do we need field hospital tents or field medicine tents, not hospital, set up on the coast side? And how many of those do we need? And who would be dispatched to staff those medical tents? In the case of a regional emergency. So that's the MRC. And they're beginning their training, and CERT is supporting them with our membership and with their training and with whatever they need.
Great program.
Yeah, so that's what we're working on now, and then everybody's been super busy. When we finish this Saturday, we're gonna take a break and for the rest of July. And then we're gonna have Spanish CERT for the first time in August, and that's a 5-class course that will be taught mostly here. There may be one unit in Blue Ridge. We already have 31 students lined up. The whole thing will be taught in Spanish. So we're working on it. It's not done yet. In the report.
Very good. Thank you, Cynthia. Great. Attorney's report.
Nothing, thank you.
Okay. Fire marshal's report.
Good evening. For the month of May, claims reviewed is 68. Inspections were 39, business inspections completed 103. And finally, to report, the Stone Pine project is about 2 weeks away from completion and the residents moving in.
The Stone Pine?
That's correct.
Okay.
47 units.
Anything to add about what's the one down by 44?
Cypress Point.
Cypress Point.
Nothing at this time, no.
Excuse me?
Nothing at this time.
Okay. Yes, thank you, Chief.
I saw an interesting statistic on home hardening, that it went from 0 to quite a number this month. Congratulations. How is that going? Do people call or they email into your office
Yes,
to request that?
yes.
So that's a lot of activity.
It is an increase, yes. But it's part of what we do, we're trying to serve the community. Because
Thank you so much for doing that. That's all the news right now, that people want guidance in terms of how to do that.
yes, and more of that will come out as it becomes official by the state as well. So we are working ahead on some of this, but officially the application is coming down.
So defensible space inspections, there's 160 of them here. How does one, I mean, you just walk around and say, hey, we're inspecting your house now, or do people call and ask for
Both.
Okay,
Both.
thank you.
Yeah, we have a checklist we utilize of guidelines to follow that criteria.
Sure. Thank you.
Great. Fire chief report, Chief Wilson.
All right, the district ran 196 calls in the month of May. And the shoot time was within specification. I actually met with the San Mateo County EMS this morning. And we are within the criteria of making sure we're meeting all of our call times and stuff. So everybody in the district's doing a good job there on responding. Overall chief's report, we have a Chief Martin is here. He's new battalion chief. He's been in the district for 13 years, 15 years. He was a medic captain, and now he is promoted to battalion chief. So he took that next step. I think the district is extremely lucky to have him, and that he decided to stay here and continue working for us and taking the promotion. So we're excited to have him. So congratulations, Tyler. I talked with Mr. Silva today,
Yes.
and we have a proposed return to full duty on July 22nd. So of this year, yeah, yes. Hopefully he's watching, he'll get a kick out of that. So we're looking forward to having Gary back and being able to help us on that operational side. So the question was asked about temporary Station 44 and where we are. There was some challenges with the permit with PG&E that were brought forward. We actually worked in some chains that we have on the fire side with PG&E, and we're able to get a meeting, and we now have that permit process moving forward. And we're hoping that once we receive that, we'll be able to get the plans approved for the underground, et cetera, and we'll be moving forward expeditiously. So we've overcame that hurdle as of this morning when we met for Station 44.
Makes sense.
On South Lot, when that project commenced, it was a 60-day window. It is moving along rapidly. We have had some concerns from citizens that have emailed both Sean, myself, and supervisors within the area. We mitigated all of those concerns rapidly, and we actually had the on-duty battalion chief go out to each of those residents that had expressed concern and made sure that we were meeting what we could for their challenge that the project was presenting to them.
Just out of curiosity,
There was sidewalk was not available, or side of road not available. We're putting the sidewalk in. There was a visual of a stop sign that was not blocked, but the concern was that it was blocked for oncoming traffic. We put some additional signs just for pedestrian safety. So just so the board knows, there were some concerned citizens, but I think we've done a good job of making sure that while that project is happening, to provide a better environment and safety for the constituents and taxpayers in that area. We're getting there.
I'm sure you did.
So I'm hoping at the end of July that we'll be nearing completion, and then I'll work with Chief West, and I think we should do, a ribbon cutting, and it's gonna be nice. So,
Is there going to be a memorial bench to Captain Lutz? Did the firefighters bill? That was part of the original thinking on this years ago.
I did not know, but that is a great suggestion, and I can talk with Sean.
It wasn't mine. It was the suggestion from the firefighters at 41 at the time.
Cindy, I didn't hear the beginning of that. Well, what was it? The report?
I can talk.
Yes.
Yeah, it was proposed at one point of putting some sort of memorial bench for fire captain Lutz
Yeah, okay.
within the area. It's been brought to my attention various times over the last couple of years. And briefly, I think a plaque on a bench somewhere would be appropriate, but whatever is available and accessible to.
Very good.
I took note. We'll make sure that we can hopefully meet that. And then the last thing that I have is that we are entering peak fire year. So fires are happening across the state. Majority of them are grass fires or like medium brush right now. Most fires are not carrying consistently through the night into the next burning period. But just so that, anyone listening and the folks here that fire year is coming to a peak, so we need to make sure that everyone's being due diligent. And we're fully staffed on the CAL FIRE side of things. And we've added some new items to our arsenal. We have 2 C-130s that are in operation now that are flying. 2, we'll hopefully get more.
5 more coming.
Yep. Getting the tanks and stuff fitted in those is a long process, but those tankers are going to start falling into a more consistent rotation depending on the report on conditions on the fire. So those are something that'll be nice. They're 4,000 gallons above the 12 or 1,400 that the S2s have.
Good.
End of report.
Questions, comments?
Tyler, can you speak on the young lady from Montera?
Sure. So this was sent to us, from Sophia's mother, so approximately 10 years ago. Sophia, who was 8 years old, she lives in El Granada, but she was going to school in, Point Montera. She went into cardiac arrest at school, 8 years old. So we had engine 44, engine 41 respond along with San Mateo County Sheriffs. She was revived successfully and made full recovery. She was essentially our poster child over the years. She has since moved, I want to say about 4 years ago. She moved down to Poway, down in Southern California, and she has just graduated from high school. And she sent that to us, and again, she's like our little sister and our poster child. I believe it was a genetic abnormality that caused the or is hereditary, and it sent her into ventricular tachycardia or ventricular fibrillation, and now she has an internal defibrillator, and she's almost a poster child for advanced cardiac life support and American Heart Association and all of that. So being a fire captain at Station 41, she always came over to the station, and again, like our poster child on the coast and a sister to us. And we're just glad to see her continuing her education and graduating. And yeah, she said that. So the stations are kind of collecting like a graduation gift for her and then sending it her way. So we're just
Awesome.
we're just really pumped on the successful resuscitation efforts that were on the coast. And yeah, great family, the Montoya family, they're awesome. So we miss them, but she's doing great. So
Great.
Thank you for that.
You're welcome.
Appreciate it.
Other comments?
I just have a thank you to the general training of our firefighters. There I am, Highway 1 headed north, Friday afternoon, traffic at, just past where 92 comes in and traffic has to merge and it's a mess and people are impatient and there's a fire truck 5 cars in front of me. And people are clearly impatient. And the engineer gets out of the truck and takes a fire helmet and he hands it to a little kid that's in a car that's trying to merge in. And the little kid was so thrilled, just smiling and laughing. And the whole traffic line burst into applause to thank the firefighters. Just a simple gesture
Wonderful.
of kindness
So they
to,
carry these little things on the rigs, obviously.
I guess so.
Yeah.
I've seen them at events, but I didn't
Yeah,
realize they were on the rigs, but it was just such a kind, good, positive thing to do in the community. And thank you for training your folks that none of that is ever wasted. Everyone felt better.
Right. Let me just add a request. And I've mentioned this at previous meetings that I mentioned to the chief earlier today that I have a call from a group that wants to meet with us in regarding wildfire plans and some kind of a co-side or county-wide organization to address it. At the same time, in the California Special District Association, I think that's where I read, there was an article about another organization, a wildfire organization that encompassed a number of areas. And there's 2 or 3 others I'm getting, maybe I'm just more aware of it, reading more and more about organizations that are coming together, rather than each individual organization doing something. And I've mentioned this before, Chief, I'd just like to have an item that even for a discussion put on the agenda so that if there's some way that we can come together with a coast-side coalition to address wildfire that makes sense, that, we're not duplicating something and we need to take some action, whether it's we just initiate it, whether we control it or not, I don't particularly care, just so we can initiate something to do it, because it's just state the obvious, it's such an obvious important issue. Anything else?
It almost reflects the idea that the harbor board had to do their ocean safety
Yeah.
event for the public.
Yeah.
This would be more of a, I think you're suggesting an organization of people who would respond, you know.
Yes, because down in Point Montero, we had a gentleman speak to us, I think, 2 meetings ago and so forth, and again, a group has contacted me and some others, and you know, I certainly would like to do it, but I'm not trying to, I would like to have a clear path as to what we should do before we tromp on that. Anything else? Without objection, we are adjourned. Thank you very much.
Thank you.
It's ours.